He's on the way to office. All right. Okay. So, guys, good morning. Thanks for joining for this session. So, we'll be continuing
Good morning, Vinod.
with our manual testing. Hey, Siri, good morning. So, we'll be continuing with our manual testing course. So, what we were discussing yesterday, guys? What we were discussing yesterday? Can someone quickly?
It's a
Yesterday
test.
we
Smoke
yesterday we
testing and
discussed
sanity
about
testing.
positive testing, negative testing, smoke testing, and sanity testing.
Sanity
Excellent.
test.
Smoke testing and
Excellent.
sanity test.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. So, hope you understood the concepts right yesterday. Anyone have
Yes.
any confusion or any doubts that
No.
No winner.
how this is
No,
being
No,
Vinod.
done?
no
Clear.
winner.
You're clear, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Vinod.
See, so guys, see, I'll tell you one thing. There is no a particular definition to any of this testing listed or any of the topics in manual testing. There is no particular definition, but but you should understand the concept, right? You can understand the concept. The way you express is more important. The way you explain the things are more important. Okay. There is nothing called somebody has to tell the definition like this. Functional definition is this. Negative testing definition is this. No. Keep in mind the concept and how you represent is up to yourself. How to give an example, that is up to you. Okay. So please make sure you understand the concept and prepare the communication skills. Don't buttify the definition as you did in your olden days, your college days, in your school days. You buttify and write. Even people buttify the math steps also. Right? Don't do such things, especially in the IT industry. You need to understand the concept. You need to have a decent communication skills. That's it. We can we can we can play a game in IT industry. Okay. Right. Coming back to the next topic. Right. From the next topic, let me change the screen to another window. Start. Okay. Let me know what you see on the screen.
Diagram.
Diagrams.
I did not
Diagram.
draw anything. I did not draw anything. I mean, you see any diagram? No,
No.
right?
No. No.
No. Okay. All right. Right. All right. So let us imagine this is a Gmail application, okay, which is under development. I hope everyone is able to see. Which is a font size. Yes, this is very important. This is Pakka interview question. This is a Pakka interview question. This is your daily job in the testing field. You do this activity every now and then. You do this activity every now and then till till you are working in testing field, either in automation or in manual. This activity, what we're discussing now, is a mandatory step, mandatory thing to understand. You are going to perform this in the real time. Okay, please make sure you understand this concept. It is pretty simple, but it is just little logical to understand. Okay, right now I have right one, three. Now this is the Gmail application, right? It is not a one word, right? It is a combination of now. It is a combination of inbox page, combination of compose page, a combination of spam pages, examples, the combination of the
Draft.
labels, draft, right? And any other name, please?
Sent items.
Mm, sorry, what is that?
Sent items. Sent.
Sent items. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Sent items. Now, when someone is saying Gmail application, it means that there might be lot many other functionalities. We're taking an example, right? Assuming these are all the application together makes a Gmail application, correct? Now, example, if inbox page is not working, can someone say that Gmail application is working fine? No, correct?
No.
Vice versa, compose page, right? Vice versa, spam page. Now, to the user, whoever is using this application, for him, right, all the functionalities should be working fine. Otherwise, he'll say, "Arey, kya yaar, Gmail application is nowadays it is throwing a lot of error pages. Let's move from Gmail to Yahoo or Gmail to Hotmail, XYZ." Correct. Now, this is very, very important to understand any application which is being under testing, right? So please assume every time we discuss, it means that the project, right? Right now, what is the project? Now, this is the project name for us. Gmail application is under development, and these are all under development right now. Okay. Now let's say first time the inbox page got released. The testing team. Now testing team performed testing. Then they say, hey, inbox page is working fine. Then compose is working, being sent. It is being tested. Fine. Vice versa, all the pages, all the functionality of the Gmail has been tested fine. Right. Now, right now, assume that we are testing the whole Gmail application. Okay. Now testing the whole Gmail application. So what happened suddenly? One of the testers has encountered that when he clicks the compose page, it was throwing an error. Now, out of all the functionalities, it was working fine, but compose page was throwing some error, some defect in the compose page. As a tester, what is your next step? You will raise a defect, correct? Whenever you encounter which is not in line with your requirements, you're going to raise a defect. Now, how do you raise a defect? You'll go to a defect tracking tool. See, guys, I'm repeating this every now and then. This is a cyclic process which happens in the real time. You test, you identify defects, you raise a defect in the defect tracking tool. You will follow with the developer. Developer will fix the bug. He will tell you to retest it. You again retest it. You'll check if it is working fine or not. If it is working, you will say it is passed. If it is not working, you will reopen the defect. The cycle keeps on running throughout your life in the testing field. Okay. Now, our one tester got a defect in the compose page. Now, compose page, right? There was a defect which got raised. What happened? There's a defect which got raised on the compose page. Right? Now, defect got raised. And poor fellow, this developer. Sorry. Okay. The developer, right? What happened? The developer got the defect. And what is the job of a developer? He should fix the defect. Right? The moment he fixes the defect, what happens? He will tell, hey, QA, you have raised a defect in compose page. I have fixed it. Right? He says, I have fixed it. So you can take tester, please check whether the bug is fixed or not. Now, please understand here, as a tester, whenever any defect is fixed, right? Whenever any defect is fixed, right? Your job is to check whether particular defect is fixed or not, correct? And also, along with the defect which got fixed, your responsibility is also to test the other functionalities, how they are behaving after a defect got fixed. Again, I'll repeat, whenever a defect got released from the dev team, your job is to test the defect raised, whether the particular defect is fixed. It means the compose page is fixed, whether compose page is working fine as per the developer. Along with that, You should also check while fixing the defect. While fixing the defect, developer did not do any mistakes on the whole code where there is an impact on other areas, right? This kind of testing is called as very, very important, which we do in a real time regularly, is called as regression testing. What is called as, everyone? Can you please repeat what is
Regression
called as?
testing.
Regression testing.
Regression
Regression testing.
testing. Regression testing. Okay. Now, why we'll have some scenario. Okay. No example. We'll discuss little more deeper insight why it is required. Now, imagine this is a right. Imagine this is the right. This is the developer's system. Okay. Now this is the now we have a almost 10,000 lines of code inside the developer's system, right? Assume inside there are 10,000 lines of code. Correct. Now there is a coding. This is imagine like this. There is a 10,000 lines of code. Correct. Now, now the you raise a defect. Compose page is not working. Correct. Now developer what he does, he'll open the complete 10,000 lines of code, obviously, to see why that compose page is not working. Correct. Now he'll not know where exactly the compose page code is existing, because he need to check where it is actually, creating a problem, where it is throwing an error. So you need to open the whole source code, and you have to check unit by unit or module by module and see which area the compose page is actually code is creating the issue. Because he is touching the code base of the Gmail application as a whole. See, Gmail is not one without combination of all these applications. So please remember. So whenever he opens the Gmail application code, he will try to check the compose page defect where it is lying. Right now, while working, while checking the defect, he got a phone call, and one of his friend called, "Hey, today we'll go to Pushpa movie 2, which got released in the theater." And he'll say, yes, they'll have the conversation. And his mindset, right? His concentration has just moved out to something else, right? By mistakenly, him, while talking to him, or unknowingly, he has removed some line of code, or or there was existing code, some more words or some characters has been added by mistakenly, or there might be something which developer might have did unknowingly. Somebody called him, somebody messaged on the team, say, let's go for lunch today. Today is Friday. Let's go for Tago's Biryani Center. It is very good biryani. His concentration might not be the same when he opened the code source code, right? So I'm just giving an example of biryani or movie. I'm just giving an example, right? We are human beings. Our mindset keep on moving. Our mindset keep on changing. Our priorities keep on changing, right? Or there might be an important meeting. Project manager called him. There might be some kind of escalation from some other defect. So his concentration just left, and he did something wrong by mistake. Correct, right? Now, the moment he submits, what happens? Though he fixed the compose post defect, because some unknown characters has been added, because he has removed some unnecessary line of code, some important line of code, right? This might impact the other areas of the application. Now imagine this draft page might have deleted, or draft page might have throwing an error because of this unnecessary line has been included. Correct? Now, to avoid such consequences, whenever any defect is fixed, very, very important, guys, please listen to this. Whenever any defect is fixed, whenever any defect is fixed, right, it is very important to do the regression testing. right? Why? Regression testing is a kind of testing, right, which allows the tester to test already tested functionality. Now, in this case, right, we already tested spam, it was working fine. We already tested uh, this draft was working fine. But why are we doing this again and again? Because there might be a defect fix happen whenever, right? Now, what happened when the moment he fixed, right? What happened? Developer will release a build. We spoke yesterday, correct? Whenever
Yes, sir.
developer fix, right? Whenever a developer fix a defect or a new functionality is released, he will release a build, correct? So whenever any new build is released, correct? So whenever new build is released, generally we do the testing, correct? But whenever defect fixing is happening, we do the regression testing, right? That is one scenario. What is the scenario number one? Whenever defect is fixed, as a tester, you'll test the defect fixed area and also you'll test the other impact. Is there any impact on the application due to this fixing? This is case number one. Now, another case, please listen to me. Another case, please consider it here. Now, now the same scenario, Gmail application, we have all the pages, we have the developer who's working on it. Now, now the customer says, hey, I'm very much happy with this new. There are 6 pages working fine with Gmail. You guys have delivered it successfully. But right now, anyway, the project is in development, right? I want you to add. I want you to add a new functionality to it. Just assume what is the new functionality? Any new attachment? Okay, attaching images. He says, hey, anyway, the project is in development, right? Can you guys add a new feature? I will pay for that extra charges that the management will take care of it. But guys, can you add new feature functionality called attaching images inside the compose page where someone wants to send an email to someone? He can attach the images. Can you add this functionality to the existing one? Correct? These are the existing one, correct? Attaching images is the new one. Now, whenever what happens whenever any new requirement comes, obviously developer will open this existing line of code again because it is a new line of code. What happens? There might be a new code which is being entered, correct? And please remember there is an existing code of Gmail application. To the existing code, the developer added few new lines of code, which is a new functionality requested by the customer. Right now, developer will open the existing code base. He will add the new programming lines of code to add the attachment to the existing functionality. Now, now this is a case too. Whenever any new functionality is being added to the current or existing application, again, whenever any new or any new feature or new functionality is added to the existing application, obviously that will be released to the testing team. Developer says, hey, I've added the attachment functionality to the existing application. Please test that feature. As a tester, you'll try to compose a page, you'll try to attach the images, and you'll try to see how the new feature is working. And along with that, you will also test the other areas of the Gmail application, right? Keeping in the mind, because of this newly added functionality, is there any effect on the other areas of the Gmail application, right? So, as a tester, in the two cases, you perform regression testing. Very, very important interview question or question people will ask in the interview. People will ask what scenarios you perform regression testing. Case number one, whenever any defect is fixed, as a tester, you will retest the defect. Along with that, you will also test whether, because of this defect fixing, is there any impact on the other areas of the application? That is called as regression testing, case 1. Case 2, whenever there is any new functionality or whenever any new feature is added to the existing application, whenever a build is released in this case, you will test the new functionality, how it is working fine, and also you will also test whether because of this new functionality added, is there any impact on the existing application, which is a case number 2. Hope you got this, guys. This is very important. Let me know if you're confused.
Clear, sir.
Now we know it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Even if any one person is not clear, let me know.
Clear, Vinod.
It's clear.
Okay, right. No. Now, couple of little logical understanding, please. Listen. This is the Gmail application. Okay. Now, Gmail application assume all the features. Okay. Again, I don't want to draw all those. Assume that inbox, draft, everything is working fine. Now, it has been released to the testing team. Correct? Cross. It is crossed. Okay. Now, this is crossed. That's fine. Now, what happened? The QA team will test, right? Correct? QA team will testing. QA team is testing now. It has been released. QA team is testing. Correct? Now, and out of all the applications, testing team has identified few defects. Okay, few defects. How many defects? Let's assume 5 defects. Okay, how many defects? 5 defects. Now, right, this is obviously definitely this is the release in the form of build, right? Correct. This is the first build you receive. Right? The first build is received to the QA team as a Gmail application URL. QA team started testing the first build. Okay. Now out of defects 5, assume all 5 defects have been fixed. Again, how it will come to the testing team, guys? How it will come to the testing team? Again in the form of
URL.
again in the form of again in the form of
URL.
build only, right?
Build. Okay.
Build only, correct. Build in the form of URL. How can I call this as a second build, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a second build. Okay. Now, very important, guys, please understand. I'll see who will answer this. Okay, try it out. Regression test is performed on the first build or on the second build.
On the second build.
Second
Second
build.
build.
Second build.
Second build.
Really?
Once the issue is fixed,
No.
we do
Again,
again.
whether the code is impacting or not, they need to test all the functionality already tested.
Remaining.
Nita is keeping quiet.
Again, test all features. That is the regression testing. So second build is regression testing.
Others, Kavita, Ram Tulsi, Nandana teacher,
Testing.
what do you think?
Second build only will test the impacting on other lines.
Okay. Nandana teacher?
Yes. On the second build. Once it is
Second build?
fixed, again we will do the regression testing, right? We'll check the page is working or not, as well as other things are affecting or not after the second build is released.
Okay. Sai,
Yes, working on second build, sir.
oh sorry, Sai Kumar, you just joined today?
No, sir. Actually, I am Satish, sir. My laptop has an
Oh,
issue,
you
sir.
joined from another.
I have
Okay,
joined in
okay.
another laptop, sir.
Right. Okay. Subramanian Sai. There are two Sais, so that's right. Sai,
Yes,
Subramanian
sir.
Sai. What do you think? From which build the regression test testing is done?
Yeah, it's a second build, sir.
Second build. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So guys, again, I'll repeat another little logical one. Testing the new feature of the first time, testing a new feature of the build is considered as a testing, but not as a regression testing. Do you agree? Testing a
Yes.
new feature
Yes.
for the first time is considered as a normal testing,
Test.
but it's
Yeah.
not. But it is not a regression testing. Correct?
Regression test. Yes, correct.
Yes,
Correct.
ma'am.
Okay. Guys, someone tell me is a case one or case two? What we have did in the example.
Case 1.
What you've written is the case one or case two?
Case 1.
Case one. Correct.
Case one.
Now, what will be the case two? Now,
If we add any
case
new
two.
feature.
You
Correct. Now there will be no defects at all. Right. Now there is no defect at all. Right. Now, to the existing functionality, correct, to the existing functionality, there is a new feature added. Correct. There is a new
New
feature
feature.
added. Correct. Right. While testing in progress, there is a new feature added. Right. New feature is added. Now that new feature is developed by the developer. Right. New feature is developed by the developer. Correct. Now, whenever a new feature is added to the existing functionality, you perform regression testing. Any confusion? What is regression testing, guys?
no, it's clear.
No, winner.
No,
sir,
Vinod.
it's clear.
Clear, sir.
Yes, clear.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right. Okay. Now, right. Now, there's another terminology which is thing, but along with the regression, people will keep on asking what is retesting. Okay. Along with the along with the regression, people will ask what is retesting. If you look at the diagram, guys, if you look at the diagram, oh, we have deleted, right? Okay. If you look at the diagram, correct? If I'm not performing, now case one, what we have done, what we have understood, whenever any defect is happening, correct? You will check whether the defect is properly working after defect fix is made, correct? Whenever you raise a defect, developer say that, hey, I fixed the defect. So what you'll do? Will you test it or will you retest it?
Retest it. Retest it.
Retesting.
Because all other functionalities working are fine or not.
No, please, don't rush. Don't rush. Please listen what I'm saying. You have raised a defect. Developer said the defect is working. Right? You have raised a defect, and developer said it is working fine. So will you do a testing or will you do a retesting? Sometimes you test, then only you identify the defect, right? It's simple.
Yes.
Then when you do a testing, you identify defect. When the defect is fixed, you will do a retesting. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Vinod.
Yes.
Yes.
sir.
Now,
Retesting.
Now, understand the difference? Regression testing, difference between retesting and regression testing. People will ask, what is the difference? Right? During the regression testing, retesting is also conducted. Do you agree? During the
Yes.
regression testing,
Yes.
retesting is also conducted.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Correct.
Because first you do the
Yes.
testing of the defect, then you do the impact testing. Correct? As a whole, it is called as regression. But when you do only the defect is correctly working fine or not, that is a retesting. So in regression testing, or while performing the regression testing, you also do retesting. Correct?
Yes.
Second, regression testing starts from second build. You agree? Regression testing starts from
Yes, yes.
second build.
Yes, Vinod.
Correct? And it will keep on continuing till all the defects are fixed. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right? But whereas retesting starts from first build. Yes or no?
Yes.
Retesting starts from first build. The moment the build is released, correct? The moment you build is released, you do testing. Correct? On that release build only, what you will do? You will do, if the defects are fixed, then you say you will do a retesting. Though you perform regression and retesting on the second build only, sometimes what happens on the build, they will release some patch. Instead of the whole build is example, consider a 10,000 lines of code. So if the uh, small error is coming, which is affecting the front application, very minor defect, they'll release a patch. Then someone will do retesting. So understand, retesting is something which is done, right? This retesting is done along with the regression testing, but regression testing is much more bigger than retesting. Correct? In this, both regression testing and retesting, we we test already tested functionalities again and again to make sure if the defect is properly fixed, make sure because of the defect, the other areas are impacted. That is our regression testing. Any doubts in what is retesting and what is regression testing, guys?
No, sir.
No, it's great.
Okay, great. Now the another one is the another one, nothing but it is a monkey testing. So it is for again general knowledge, or no, people will not tell you in real time, hey, do monkey testing, right? So this is the knowledge purpose. You need to know what is monkey testing. It's just something, someone will perform a testing on the application by doing some actions intentionally. It means, right, if it is a Gmail application, right? So wantedly is clicking inbox page again and again. They behave how the behavior of a monkey. Correct? It will not sit at one place, right? It will not. Uh, it will not. You cannot assume that this the monkey behavior is like this only. So you cannot predict. The same way, the person who is testing it can do a random clicks, random performance. Suddenly he'll sign out. Suddenly he'll log in. Suddenly click on compose. Suddenly he'll come back and click on label page. Suddenly he clicks on spam. Suddenly you'll select all the emails and delete. So this is how you'll see how the application is behaving in such scenarios, right? Right? If someone is doing intentionally all these, make sure that to check the stability of the application. Suddenly, if I click on compose, and again, if I click on uh, in the inbox page, right? How the application is behaving. Okay. Give me one second. Meeting at 10. So, all right. So the monkey testing, as we discussed, it's a kind of testing where someone will perform actions intentionally in order to check whether how the application is behaving, how stable is the application, right? That comes under monkey testing. We already covered what you see on the screen. Let me share the content. You're seeing Notepad, right?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah. Okay. We have done with regression. We understood what is monkey testing. We covered retesting. Right now, what is the difference between static and dynamic testing? Again, this generally in real time it is very less, but you should know what is static. Okay. See, there are few web pages, there are few websites which gives only information. Do you agree?
Yes, Vinod.
There are few web pages or there are few websites only give information. They don't take any inputs, neither they don't give any output. Right? Those are called static web pages. What they're called as static web pages, where you as a user you don't perform any actions on it, right? Any actions on it. Right? So testing such websites and also there are few documents that as a tester you need to verify. In the real time, there are few documents which you need to verify. We'll discuss about what kind of documentation that we follow in detail. Please do not worry. So verifying those documents, right? Verifying those documents or verifying an applications which they don't accept any inputs, right? Or without performing any actions on that particular page or an application is called static testing. And it is opposite to dynamic, right? There are certain functionalities on the applications websites where they take input. Based on the input, it will give you an output. Correct? Based on input, it will give you an output. Right? There might be many examples online, right from the Aadhaar card application, right from the passport application, right from the visa application, right? There are many applications online where it will take some input and it will generate output. Example, credit card application. It will take all the necessary details. Once you click on submit, it will take 90 seconds to right to give you the status whether your application has been accepted or rejected, right? That applications basically it is called as dynamic pages, right? What is dynamic? It will keep on changing based on the user input. Example, if you select are you salaried or a business holder, the moment you select salary down, the fields will change. Enter your company name, here is your address, from when are you working, and what is your monthly salary. But the moment you select the business holder, then it will ask you what is your nature of the business. Do you have this license? Do you have that license? Right? Based on the input by the user, the application will behave accordingly. Right? Now, testing such applications, dynamic in nature, right? Is nothing but dynamic testing, where you perform some actions. Correct? Right? I gave you certain examples. In that cases, such type of applications, right? You look, if someone's asking, have you done dynamic testing? You should be very much aware. The application, the project, whatever your work is the dynamic application, whether it accepts few information and displays some information. Example, we have developed a website of a college. In US, there is a State Department of Maine, MAINE. That's a state name. We have developed a lot of websites for them, right? So what they do, they want only a website where different schools. So under State Department of Maine, there are different schools, right? So they want a website for each school, and they want to display, right, the important information on the school website, just like an announcement about the school, about the course structure, but for everything they have to contact the school administration. The website will not take any inputs from the user, right? So we have developed a lot many websites for them for each school throughout the state. We have developed, right? That's only static web pages. But what we have done is testers. What they have done is a static testing. Right? Just one example. Hope you are clear with what is static and dynamic testing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Vinod.
Right. Right. And apart from right, and apart from what testing that we do, right? So sometimes what we also do installation testing. Though it is not necessary, but just for your knowledge sake, installation testing. Now, if it is something which one will install the application into an environment, right, with certain guidelines provided in the deployment document, right? This application should be installed in this area, this drive, with this configuration, whatever mentioned in the deployment document, right? So we'll see whether, as a tester, you will not be doing this, but just for your knowledge purpose, the person who does the deployment will follow the deployment manual and will deploy the application, and he'll see how the application is installed, whether the application is suitable for that particular in a particular environment, or whether it is reacting, whether it is getting freeze, whether it is getting crashed. There will be lot many reasons, right? So that comes under installation testing. So another one, which is next, which is uh, compatibility testing. It's very important, compatibility testing. So now example, now the customer said that, hey, I want the Gmail application to be developed, and every requirement he has given. So he specifically say that my application should work on Internet Explorer, that to 6.5, or example I'm saying Chrome and Microsoft Edge. Okay, this my application should be compatible with these three pages, web pages, correct? Three browsers, you can say. Now, as a tester, you should perform whether the Gmail application, which is developed by opening on Internet Explorer, changing the version to 6.6 or whatever version it is mentioned, changing changing the URL or to from Internet Explorer to Chrome, Chrome to Edge. You have to make sure that your application, your Gmail application, is not getting freezed, not getting blocked, not performing well, or there is some performance issue. So you need to make sure your application is compatible with these browsers. You have to test it. So it might be a browser, or it might be Windows and Linux and other operating systems, whatever client is mentioning. My application should only work in Linux. My application should only work in Windows. My application only work in MacBook. My application should work in all the operating systems. So if he mentions like this, you have to perform a testing called as compatibility testing and see how compatible is your product when it is moving into a different environments. So again, it might be a browser specific, or it might be a operating specific, or it might be some kind of a specific. Like example, while I was working with Carvi, I worked in Carvi IT sector, where we have handled all the mutual funds websites. So what you see on this on the internet, right? There's Reliance mutual funds, Motilal Oswal mutual funds, right? Like this, there are uh, Religare mutual funds. So all these websites which you see on the front end, we used to handle from the back end. Okay. Now specifically, Carvi management wants those applications to run on Internet Explorer only. It is more compatible to Internet Explorer, less compatible with Chrome and other browsers, right? So our testing team is to test whether the new functionalities, the existing one, how it is behaving in Internet Explorer. because client wants this application to be executed run more on the Internet Explorer. So this is one of the example. So please make sure people are asking you, have you done any compatibility testing? You should give an example. Yes, compatibility testing with respect to browsers. I have done compatibility testing with respect to different environments. I have done like Windows and Linux. Right? Obviously, your company should provide Linux environment. Your company should provide all the other environments to test a particular application is working fine or not. Hope this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Vinod.
Right. Right. And we discussed in the performance testing, which is usability testing. Correct. Now, we also discussed what is usability testing. It is something, testing an application, how user friendly it is. Now, what is user friendly? Example, if someone is trying to enter username and wrong password, it should display, please enter valid username and password, which is human understandable language. Or it cannot display a SQL error, database error stating that password strings are incorrect, right? String concatenation is incorrect, or some programmatical language. Example, there is a try-catch error. Example, there is alphanumeric error. So which will not be understandable by the user, right? So whatever error messages which comes out of the programming language, which will not be helpful to the user who is using the application, the website application, or whoever or whatever application is being developed, that application should be user friendly. It may be username, it might be mobile number, or it might be address field, or it might be attachment error. Anything, anything which is dynamic in nature, if it is throwing an error due to validation error, right? That message should be properly converted into user-friendly message and should be displayed on the website. So, as a tester, you should test an application how user friendly it is behaving by passing invalid inputs, how the application is responding, whether it is helping the user to understand, oh, yes, I have entered incorrect mobile number of 11 digits. I should enter only 10 digits. So whether it is guiding the user to access the application freely, that messages are validated by the tester with the help of this usability testing, which is as a tester, you are testing the application, right? Whether the application is user friendly or not. Got it? And another one, which is very, very important, end-to-end testing. Again, the all is the goal is same. What we do is making sure that we perform the testing to make sure that the application is not having any defects, and also we make sure that the application is developed as per the requirement given in the FRS document. Now, what is the end-to-end testing? It is nothing but end-to-end. If the name itself says end-to-end, it means the testing should cover all the scenarios in the application, in the project, or whatever we are developing, right? It might be small scenario to any lengthy scenario. Example, if it is a Gmail application, right from login, let's say sending an email is one scenario. Inside that, there are multiple steps. You will log in, you click on compose, you open body, you type the body, you type the two sender information, you enter the subject, you type the body, you attach, then you click on submit. That is one scenario. Deleting an email, logging to the username application, going to the inbox page, selecting a particular email, and then deleting, confirm, and then delete. That is again a scenario. Like this, in an application, in a software application, there will be thousands of scenarios where, as a tester, you should cover as a part of end-to-end testing. If someone is telling that we have performed end-to-end testing on the application, it means that that application is thoroughly tested on all the scenarios. Correct? The application, the now application is a defect-free quality product, right? This is something which will keep on working. Sorry, who is that? Can you please go on mute? Right. So as a tester, right? So to perform end-to-end testing, as a tester, you should be having very, very good knowledge on the domain. Example, if you don't know what is e-commerce domain, if you don't know what is e-commerce application does, as a tester, if you don't know what is an online shopping, you cannot test that application end to end. You cannot write the scenarios of e-commerce application, right? That is why I am again stressing you as a tester, you should be familiar with at least 2 to 3 domains perfectly. Example, what is the domain of banking? What does a banking application have as a major functionality, core functionality? As a e-commerce, what is a core functionality? As a education domain, what is the core functionality? So like this, you should be familiar with at least 2 to 3 domains and make sure that you are well versed with that scenarios, right? So that is where you will be hired very easily when you go for an interview. Example, that particular project is into banking domain. They will mention in the job requirement, we are looking for a QA testing team who have experience in BFSI domain. It means they don't want to give you a training in domain, then you test an application. They want to take only testers who have the banking experience, who have experience in testing the banking applications. Correct? Now, that is where that is where the application will be tested thoroughly if a tester is having a proper domain knowledge. Now, example, vice versa situation. I'm very good in e-commerce testing, e-commerce platform, but I don't know what is banking application. If I'm if if someone tell me to do a banking application testing, I'll not be able to do because I come from e-commerce background testing. I do not have banking application testing experience. That is vice versa. If someone's coming from banking experience and put on the e-commerce platform testing, hey, I'm telling you, hey, you test this e-commerce application, then you can only test very, very high level, but you may not be able to test with the complete scenarios, right? That is the miss. If you don't test the complete scenarios, you never knew that in that area there might be some defect lying where you did not identify, and the preventive policy is always lesser cost than the corrective policy. Right? If the bug is identified while UAT is in progress, or if the bug is identified when the application went on live, then customer will shout you back. Customer will escalate to the management, and he will give a wrong feedback on the internet that this company doesn't perform testing well, because of which I have been put into a loss of X amount. Please be careful while testing. You should have a proper domain knowledge before you taking up any project, right? Why you need domain knowledge properly? To perform end-to-end testing thoroughly. If you don't know domain knowledge properly, you cannot test the regression testing properly. If you don't know the domain knowledge, you cannot perform the retesting or monkey testing properly. You cannot even perform the functional testing properly. You cannot even perform non-functional testing properly if you don't know the domain language, domain knowledge. For it, guys? Yes.
Yes, Vinod.
I'm not boring everyone.
No.
No.
Someone is
No,
speaking.
no one is. No one is.
And Anita, anything that you want to add?
No, sir. No, we're not.
Anita and Kavita, both names are similar in pronunciation. Just that's where 2 people are answering the question. Anita and Kavita. Okay. Siri, Archana, Rama Devi, hope you understanding it.
Yes,
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 Vinod.
Okay, so by this we have completed the majority of the uh, you know the types of testings, right? And there might be many testings, but in a real time we don't perform all those. And and if you find anything a new testing terminology, try to understand what it is. Good to know the information, but it is not mandatory to learn as a tester each and everything. But these are the major testing terminologies that we perform on the real time. Okay, all right. So we'll catch up tomorrow, and we'll try to cover up a new topic. And please remember this. I already messaged. I don't know. Too many people don't respond in WhatsApp for my messages. They don't like responding. For WhatsApp, I think free of cost, right? You won't be charged for WhatsApp messages. It's a free of cost. Okay, and let me stop the recording.